Following the successful infiltration of the wooden horse, the Trojans celebrated an imagined victory. As they succumbed to exhaustion and night-long revelry, the stage was set for the final chapter of Season 2, the absolute and inevitable destruction of Troy. Deep in the night, the silence of the sleeping city is broken. Odysseus and his elite warriors emerge from the wooden horse, finally seizing the moment they have waited 10 long years for. Moving like shadows, the soldiers secure the walls and heave the colossal gates open from within. Upon seeing the signal fire, the Greek fleet turns back toward the shore, signaling the start of the final offensive. In a masterstroke of deception, the fleet that supposedly departed swarms the coastline. Before the sleeping city can comprehend the betrayal, a massive surprise attack washes over Troy. Jolted from sleep, the citizens of Troy are defenseless against the overwhelming onslaught. Fire spreads through the city, marking a horrific end to a civilization that had withstood a decade of siege. Seeking refuge at his palace altar, the aged King Priam meets a brutal end at the hands of Neoptolemus. His death symbolizes the execution of an entire dynasty. To ensure the bloodline of Troy's greatest defender is permanently severed, the Greeks commit an unspeakable act against Hector's young son. It remains one of the war's most haunting atrocities. Cassandra, the tragic prophetess, finds no sanctuary even within the house of the gods. The violation she suffers at the hands of the Greeks desecrates the temple and plants the seeds of divine wrath. After a decade of war, Menelaus stands face to face with his wife, Helen, amidst the ashes of Troy. Boiling with fury, he raises his sword, but finds himself paralyzed by her complex allure. No royal blood shields the women of Troy. Queens and princesses are divided among the Greek warlords as spoils of war, forming the foundation for the greatest tragedies of classical literature. Stripped of her family, the once great Queen Hecuba is reduced to a captive slave. Her devastation serves as the sorrowful archetype for all human grief in the aftermath of war. Bereft of her husband and child, Andromache is dragged away as the personal prize of the man who slaughtered her king. She remains a lasting symbol of the sorrow left by the Trojan War. While the city burns, the prince Aeneas escapes into the night. Carrying his father and leading survivors toward an unknown horizon, he carries the spark of a destiny that will eventually give rise to the Roman Empire. As the sun rises, the once majestic city of Troy is revealed as nothing more than a smoldering graveyard. This conclusion leaves a profound scar on both the vanquished and the victors. Surviving Greek kings claim their shares of captives and loot, shifting focus toward home. However, a dark, supernatural shadow looms over their fleets, ensuring not all will see their shores again. With the fall of Troy behind them, Odysseus now turns his attention to the long-awaited journey home. He rallies his remaining men and prepares his fleet, yearning for the wife and son he hasn't seen in 2 decades. This departure marks the beginning of an entirely new, agonizing epic. However, victory has made the Greeks arrogant. In their celebration, they have desecrated holy altars and committed acts of cruelty against their captives. This hubris, particularly the violation within Athena's sacred temple, ignites a divine fury that will soon eclipse their earthly triumph. Athena, once the fiercest champion of the Greeks, turns against them in disgust. She allies with Poseidon, the lord of the sea, to conjure an inescapable gauntlet of storms. Their collective wrath seals a cursed fate, ensuring Odysseus will remain adrift for another decade. As we look back on the events of Season 2, we see the arc from the wrath of Achilles and the fall of legendary heroes like Hector and Patroclus, to the final, cunning deception of the Trojan horse. A decade of war has finally concluded in blood and bronze. As the fires of Troy fade, Odysseus steers his ship directly into the wrath of Poseidon. This transitions us into the cinematic heart of the Odyssey, a brutal, 10-year struggle against monsters, gods, and nature itself. The journey home begins now,